Hola.
En este video les mostraremos cómo luce un centro comercial chino luego de pasar 2 meses de cuarentena en el país. Cuáles son las medidas que las tiendas están tomando, cómo la gente se anima a cada vez salir más a la calle, y también les compartiremos nuestra primera vez comiendo en un restaurante desde que todo inició el 24 de enero en China. Miren, en la entrada tienen por supuesto el código que hay que escanear para demostrar que pasaste por acá y entonces queda en tu recorrido. Por si llega a haber algún caso, pueden detectar exactamente qué personas también estuvieron aquí, con el caso de la persona quizás con los síntomas. Así que ahora vamos a entrar por acá. Al ser este un mall tan grande, notamos una primera diferencia y en la entrada no hay una persona simplemente...
Listo. Hola.
Se pone en la muñeca o en la cabeza, sino que tienen instalado...
Hola a todos, nos volvemos a ver.
La temperatura de la gente que pasa.
¿Qué más, Viviana?
Así que es una forma más rápida para controlar.
Le quitaron el teléfono a Viviana, ¿o qué se hizo Carlos?
No te escuchamos, la verdad. Yo lo escucho muy bien.
Más popular de toda la ciudad, por lo que de seguro tenían que hacer todo.
Yo escucho bien.
Sabiendo que empezarían a recibir una gran cantidad de visitantes.
Yo estoy escuchando bien.
Yo a ti no te estoy escuchando casi, Germán.
¿Ahí sí o no?
Ahí mejor.
Bueno, listo, entonces ya, entonces aquí tengo el teléfono y listo, entonces, ¿qué más? Hola a todos, hola Viviana, hola Carlos.
Vivi, hola.
Hola Carlitos, hola Germán, hola a todos, qué lindo saludarlos. Besitos.
Qué bueno, Germán, qué bueno, Vivi. Bueno, acá confinados todavía, pero todo sea por la salud. Esperemos que pronto pase esto, que nos volvamos a reencontrar, que nos volvamos a ver, a abrazar, a divertirnos como lo solimos hacer siempre.
Bueno, pero lo estamos haciendo aquí, nos estamos divirtiendo, estamos haciendo las cosas, hay que reinventarse, ¿no? Hay que reinventarse y...
Es la palabra de moda, reinventarse y resiliencia.
Palabra tendencia en este confinamiento y nada, yo diría así, replantearnos en todas las formas, física, emocional y hasta espiritualmente en muchos casos. He visto por ahí muchos de mis amigos han empezado a hacer prácticas espirituales, meditación, yoga, y eso me ha gustado porque pues están abriendo el espacio a nuevas cosas en su vida y siempre los cambios tienen algo positivo, así que este confinamiento nos ha dejado muy buenas enseñanzas hasta el momento.
Yo por ejemplo he visto a hermana Viviana muy activa en redes y veo
Sí.
también su tema de las terapias de yoga, no sé si se le dice como terapia, así como el tema del ejercicio y esto, y me parece que es una faceta interesante de Vivi también, que ya veníamos conociendo pero que ha venido explotando mucho mejor. ¿Cómo la has visto ahí?
No, lo hace muy bien y de verdad que la admiro mucho porque yo siempre le digo, siempre está en donde tiene que estar y es un ser muy bonito y nos está enseñando mucho y está aprendiendo mucho y de eso se trata, de compartir las cosas, ¿no?
Total, esa es la idea, eso es la idea.
Sí, no, pues, y con aquello de uno de reinventarse, hoy venía pensando en eso, de uno antes le decía a las 5 de la tarde espere la llamada, que lo van a llamar, y uno se iba para la casa y esperaba que le llegara la llamada, porque eso no habían celulares. No sé si a ustedes les tocó esa época, ¿no?
No, sí me alcanzó a tocar, de pronto a Carlitos, no, pero a mí sí, en el colegio yo no, pues uno no andaba con celular, no habían smartphones. Entonces pues a uno lo llamaban por la tarde cuando uno ya llegaba del colegio y tenía uno como el espacio en la casa, pero no es como ahora que en cualquier momento podemos ser de fácil acceso, digámoslo así.
Sí, no, las tecnologías han permitido mucho, yo creo, quizás no recuerdo muy bien esa época, pero yo creo que todo va evolucionando. Esta, digamos, pandemia por la que estamos pasando nos va a llevar a nosotros también a enfrentarnos a cosas nuevas, que quizás es el tema que a muchos nos ha afectado, y es esa ansiedad de enfrentarnos a lo nuevo, de no saber qué será que pasado mañana va a suceder, qué va a pasar con todo este tema de los dispositivos, qué sé yo, en 1 año, 2 años, con las clases, con los eventos que teníamos acostumbrados a realizar en espacios cerrados, las fiestas, la diversión. Bueno, son muchas preguntas que creo yo y considero que quedan en el aire.
Sí, pero de eso se trata, y de eso se trata el día de hoy, de entender un poquito más y de ver las cosas de una manera diferente, porque tenemos que cambiar el chip, tenemos que reinventarnos, y en eso Mundo Video es experto en reinventarse y en sacar cosas nuevas, ustedes lo saben, y todos los que están viendo ustedes allá lo saben también. Tenemos la suerte de que Colin, pues ustedes ya se documentaron de quién es Colin. A ver, Vivi, cuéntenos quién es Colin. Tuvimos la suerte que nos ayudara.
No, es una... Sí. Bueno, Colin es uno de los 100, de los top 100 marketers en Reino Unido. Además, ganó un premio muy prestigioso en el 2008 en Irlanda por el líder en marketing. Eso es una mente brillante, podemos decir, en el marketing, visionario, es uno de los mejores en lo que hace. Y bueno, pues hoy viene a abrirnos un poquito los ojos de cómo enfrentar este cambio que nos ha dejado el COVID-19, cómo va a empezar a funcionar todas estas plataformas digitales, cómo van a cambiar los negocios, cómo tenemos que empezar a mover nuestra marca de nuevas maneras. Y estoy muy emocionada de poder escucharlo porque tenemos mucho que aprender de él, ¿o no, Carlitos?
Y así es que, aparte, gerente de marketing más joven de Thomas Cook, por allá a nivel mundial en la década de 1990, tiene una historia, tiene enseñanzas por compartir con todos nosotros. A la edad de 30 años ya viajaba por toda Asia para la compañía que trabajaba. Se la pasaba en Indonesia, Singapur, Hong Kong, casi en 5 años reportaba directamente para el CEO Global de Thomas Cook. O sea, es un referente total de lo que ustedes dicen, de emprendimiento, de reinvención, de renovación, y qué bueno sería escuchar algunas palabras para que todos aprendamos hoy con él.
Hay una cosa bien que me encantó a mí cuando lo contacté, lo logré contactar a través de Camilo, que le damos las gracias, es nuestro encargado de la página y del contenido, ha hecho una labor excelente con esto. Me pareció una excelente persona que sabe muchísimo, y lo importante es que siempre está en Asia, siempre está enfocado en Asia, y nos trae una visión muy fresca de qué es lo que está pasando allí. Bueno, en este momento me están diciendo que ya tenemos conexión con él. Ya, sí, aquí está. Colin, hi, how are you? Hi, Colin. Colin. Bueno, parece que no sé, tenemos problemas. Sigamos aquí, les sigo contando. Es normal en esto. Sí, está bien. Les cuento que Colin manejaba cuentas muy importantes como la de Pepsi, la de Heineken, la de Toyota a nivel Europa, y sabe muchísimo y ha preparado un material excelente para nosotros. Y lo más bonito de esto es que se ofreció, nos está ayudando porque quiere mostrarnos a todos, es su contribución a nuestro país, a ver cómo podemos manejar las cosas de otra manera, de lo que hablábamos ahora, de ver las cosas con otros ojos. ¿Listo? Entonces, pues no, aquí sí, ya... sí, ahora sí está. Hola, Colin, ¿qué más? ¿Estamos listos?
Hello, everybody. Are you ready?
Él está preguntando que si estamos listos. Entonces sí, estamos listos. Sí, yes, we are ready. Ok, let's go. Ok, vamos con esto y bienvenido, Colin.
Hello, everybody. My name is Colin Lewis. Mundo Video have asked me to share some of my marketing knowledge to help you get through this crisis in your industry right now. I'll put together some thoughts, some ideas to help you work through and come out the other side much more healthily and in much better shape. So the first question is, who am I? Who is Colin Lewis? And why should you listen to me? Well, that's a very good question. I'm an experienced, award-winning marketer with over 25 years experience in Asia, Australia, the UK, and actually here in Ireland where I'm talking to you from. Now, not just that, I run Ireland's largest marketing conference, DMX Dublin, with over 1,000 attendees. I program it and get all the speakers from all over the world to it. I'm a columnist in Marketing Week magazine, the biggest Marketing Week magazine in the world for the last 6 or 7 years. I'm also a professional trainer, and what I do is I teach brands such as Heineken, Honda, Unilever, Pepsi, Ryanair, of course, Toyota, you name it. They're all the sort of people who are my consulting clients, mentors or mentees, or people I give classes to. But there's one particular unique thing about me, and that's this. I've a lot of experience working in the airline business. And one thing the airline business teaches you and drills into you all the time is this notion of crisis communications. So I have a lot of training in crisis communications. So I know how to cope in very, very difficult situations and put together programs and ways of thinking and ways of communication that can help things in crisis situations. And we really are in a crisis situation. So I think you should listen to me. I think I've got a couple of ideas that can really help you. And let's get started. So where do we start here? Well, this is going to be a frank conversation where I kind of give you my best ideas that I think you can apply straight away. But I need to start with one particular area, and that's really this concept of your mindset. And this is really the most troublesome area that people have right now, because it's very difficult for us a lot. Things aren't going to go back to normal. So what I want to do is suggest a new mindset for you. And it's really both for you personally and for your business and for your customers. To get you all back on your feet, you need to have this new way of thinking. And this new way of thinking I like to call the framework of value creation. Now, let me explain. Many businesses and many people are about how do I get money from my customers in order to make this business work. It's about, if you will, maybe extracting money from customers, okay? And, you know, I think that's the wrong mindset. In fact, I know it's the wrong mindset during this particular corona crisis. Indeed, what we need to do is actually have a totally different frame of reference. And that frame of reference is really around how you create value all the time. And value creation is a totally different frame of reference to value extraction. So what I want to do is, as we go through this presentation and as I talk through what I'm doing and my ideas, what I want you to really think about is, how do I create value for my customers? How do I create value for my suppliers? And how do I create value for everybody that I know, which in turn will then create value for me? So my first frame of reference that's going to set everything off is value creation. I want you to understand and think through what value creation means in your business. So let's get started. So what I want to suggest here is I'm going to give you a couple of frames of reference for how you can approach the future. There's about 4 of those. And then I'm going to give you some specific actions that you can take right now based on research and experience that I've had in China and what I've seen in the US as well. So direct action things you can do. But let's start with our plan of attack. And the plan of attack starts with your own frame of reference. And to kick off these ideas I have around frame of reference, what I want you to do is start thinking in 3 different time frames. So that's 3 different time frames. And the first time frame is the current phase, where we are right now. And this current time frame is lockdown. We're in lockdown right now. The second phase is the restart phase. And that's when things will start opening. But what we do know is not everything opens up at the same time. That's what's happened in China, and that's what happened in Korea and other markets that have, other countries that have actually started reopening. It didn't all open up on one day. So we have the current phase, we have the restart phase, and then we'll have the final phase, which is what I'll call the new normal. Now, the new normal is important for you to understand because things are not going to go back the way they were. There will be a new normal created. And that's what you're aiming for. But that's not today. So, one more time. 3 different timescales. And here are the 3 timescales. There's current phase, which is lockdown. There's the restart phase, which is when things gradually open. And then there's when everything's back open, which is what I'll call the new normal. So they're the 3 time frames I'm going to talk about right through my first sets of frames of reference, and even, of course, my actual recommendations as to what to do. So the first thing, the first frame of reference for you to get into your mind is this concept called a beginner's mindset. Let me say that again. The first thing I want you to think through is this concept called a beginner's mindset. Things are not going to go back to the way they were. They're just not. And the most important thing you can do is be much more objective. Be much more concrete and saying to yourself, this is different and I need to approach this with a beginner's mindset to look at things anew, look at things afresh. In English, we would use the word clear the decks. Now, clear the decks means face reality as it is. Get rid of the old ideas and face reality as it is. Only by facing reality as it is can you actually access new ideas, new tools, and new resources. So my first recommendation is start with a beginner's mindset. Now let's look at part 2 of the frames of reference I need you to think to help work through the next while. And this one is called forget about what happened and focus on your responses. Forget about what's going on and focus on your own personal responses. So one of the things we humans always do is we think we can control things, and obviously coronavirus has told us that we're not really that much in control of things. So certain things we're just no longer in control of this. And you can't control events. But what you can control is your response to the events. And what I'm finding is people are out there worrying, thinking about what's going on with coronavirus, what could happen, who knows what could happen, maybe this, maybe that. But actually, that's no use. All you can do is focus on your own response to the events. Your own response is what matters, not what's actually going on in the newspapers, on the television, or on social media. So focus on your response. So as part of this, I want you to not only focus on your response, I want you to also forget about the product you're selling per se, in and of itself, and focus on the relationships. Focus on deepening all the relationships that you've got out there with your suppliers, with your customers, maybe even with your prospects, with family, with everybody. This is a time for actually focusing on what's in front of us right now, and our relationships are in front of us right now. We can't worry what could happen in the future. We're not in control of all that. Work with the resources you have now. Work with the resources you have now, the opportunities you have now, and focus on today. One of my own personal experiences has been coronavirus. It has been how up and down I am all the time. And what I remember when I keep going up and down in my own mood and my own opinions and my own ideas is I focus on every day is a new day. I focus on the fact that I can face each day afresh. And that's how I've been able to get through this. And indeed, I'm probably more positive now on week 8 than I was on week 1 or week 2, because I'm focusing on the here and now and focusing on the fact that every day is a new day and I can focus on these things afresh. So let me just say that again. Forget what has passed. Focus on what's available. Focus on your resources now. That's number 2. Let's look at Number 3, frame of reference. Number 3 out of 4 frames of reference. And this frame of reference is an active thing you can do right now. One of the conversations I've been having with German is around whether you should set up a coalition, a group of like-minded people to come together. And I think it's a very powerful thing to do, because now you can kind of move, as you move from lockdown where we are now to restart phase. This is one of the things you're going to need to do. You're going to need to get together, maybe push aside old rivalries. Now, it's about getting together, creating maybe your own community. That it doesn't have to be super formal. It doesn't have to be long term. It's just getting together now and saying, how can we create value for each other, and how can we create value for your consumers and your customers and your suppliers. Now, I don't really know what form this should take. I know myself what I would do is I would just create a loose coalition of people who are interested, who want to do things together to help themselves, help their customers, and just help Colombia in general. Maybe that might just take something like, say, how do we reach out to our customers on social media? How do we make sure they're safe and okay? How do we do all that? And it's something maybe that it's just got a beginning, middle, and end, and it finishes at the end of restart phase. But what I'm really saying here is just focus on maybe getting together with people who are suppliers, with people who are customers, whatever it is, but create a coalition who want to make all this happen. Get together, make it loose, don't make it formal, but get together and have 1 or 2 actions that can communicate directly with your customers. And I'm going to talk about that in some of the actions in a minute, but most importantly, think through how you could get through a coalition of things that can create value for a wider range of people, including Colombia itself. Let's look at some hard actions you can do right now to go and impact your business and impact your bottom line right now. I've done a ton of research over what is happening in Korea, what's happening in China, and some of the recommendations from some of the best brains that I've seen and I respect coming out of the US. So, number 1, the most important thing is put solutions before sales in a pandemic. In other words, think for solutions for your customers before you think in terms of getting revenue for customers. All the research out there that said the consumers want our brands to step up and be a sort of voice of authority and to look after them. So educate your customers, educate the public, educate everybody, and transform their perspective of who you are and what sort of business you are in by giving them reliable, factual information so they can be safe. So think education, think factual information. We've all heard the word fake news, and there's lots of fake news out there around coronavirus. So be a source of authoritative information. Be a source that they can trust. Don't do the fake news thing. And there's some very interesting case studies of what's happened both in the UK and the US. One of the things that Unilever's Dove brand did, the soap and washing brand did, they created a video on social media just to talk about how you can wash your hands and illustrate proper hand washing techniques. It's a perfect example of something that's in tandem with the brand, in tandem with giving solutions to customers, and not really talking about how you can sell. So what I want you to do is think, how do I put solutions before sales? And how can I create solutions that give people reassurance? And it may be slightly outside of the normal industry you're talking about, but what I want to do is you think in terms of educating your public, educating your consumers. So think solutions before sale. That's my first tactic to do right now. My second tactic is very, very simple. Make safety for your customers the number 1 thing you do, and the frame that you do everything through. Get it right through all your employees, everything. Make safety the number 1 thing. Of course, have hand sanitizers around, have disinfectants, get your the places you deal with, everything, to do the basics around hand sanitizers and having a disinfectant schedule and so on. But actually, one of the things that many of the entertainment locations in China have already done, and what they're starting to do in the US, is actually rethink through every single aspect of the environment that the customer passes through to make it safe. And I know this is what's happening in some of the gambling arenas, particularly say in Macau, is they've literally thought through every step the consumer goes through and their particular target customer goes through and gone, how can I make that safe for the customer? So make safety your number one priority. Think through all the steps your customers have to go through and make this your top priority. So that's number 2, safety. Number 3 is also very simple. It's just this one word, flexibility. The world I know very well is the world of travel, the world of tourism. And it's very clear, all the consumer research is saying, what I want is flexibility, because I don't know what's going to happen in the future. And this is what the world is expecting now. They don't want strings attached. They don't want to be compromised by your particular business rules, your particular business ideas. Give people flexibility and build in flexibility because your habits of your customers are going to change. So this is a very simple rule. How do I make things more flexible for my consumers? Flexibility, that's number 3, tactic to implement right now. Number 4 is straightforward, is to go and create campaigns and promotions that bring customers back to your locations, get customers interested in gambling again. Now, I've got some news for you here. Your customers have taken a hit to their income. You're not going to get the same revenues you've got before. It doesn't matter what you are, whether you're an accountant, whether you're an airline pilot, whether you're a newsreader, it doesn't matter. The salaries, the expectations of what can come in, particularly in the kind of restart phase of Corona, your customers just won't have the money. So how about offering free, offering low price, offering better odds, offer better winnings? Because what you want to try and do is help people meet the challenges, get them out of their everyday. One of the things that is the most important thing about gambling is it brings you to a different part. It taps into people's different part of the world. It just gets them the frame of reference different. And that's what you want. It's a great thing, getting people away from the sort of the toughness of their day to day. But to do that, you're going to need to be much more flexible on your pricing and not thinking in terms of, I'm going to go back to the way it is pricing wise because that's what I need. I talk to so many businesses and they're saying, this is the price point I need to make my business work. And I go and say, well, that's the price point you've created in your business to go work like that. In this new normal, that's not going to be the same. When we come out of coronavirus, all forms of pricing are going to be totally different. Do you really think airline fares, as an example, are going to be the same? No, they're not. So why should your pricing, why should your odds, why should everything be the same? You need to go out there and give people help to get through this crisis. And, cheap, better, faster, whatever, it's happening everywhere. Even in the hotel business, which is a business I know very well, some of the biggest chains in the world, and even Airbnb, gave away free rooms to people working on the front line in healthcare, in hospitals, nurses, doctors, and so on. They gave away free rooms. This is not something they'd ever done before. So think through, how do I do something with no strings attached, with better pricing, lower costs for the consumer to go engage and get out of the life. What you really want to do is bring people together, because they've been kind of socially distant for a while. So overall, your game is to try and bring people together. So that's recommendation, tactic number 4 to do right now. Bring in very specific coronavirus campaigns that are lower cost, that help people engage and get them back into the game, if you will. But do it where it's recognizing that their wallet is smaller, that they have less money in their pocket. And that's what, and do specific Corona campaigns around it. Of course, you don't want to call it a Corona campaign, but you've got to go after this and say, this is something specific to entice people back in. And the sort of business you're in the gambling business, people want that. They want some joy in their life. You're providing these moments of joy. What you want to do is provide campaigns that enable them to have moments of joy at a different price point to what you did before. So promotions, campaigns, moments of joy, lower price point.
Oiga, interesante lo que nos dice Colin, de verdad, es el momento, ya sabemos, a raíz de todo lo que está pasando en el mundo, este ya cambió, y ¿qué nos queda a nosotros? Pues adaptarnos a ese cambio, en lo que usted haga, en lo que usted se desempeñe, en la labor que realice, en lo que le aporte, así sea en la mínima cosa a esta humanidad o en grandes cosas a este planeta que tanto lo necesita. Tenemos que estar ahí, en esa ola, ahí estamos siempre generando nuevas ideas, siendo más creativos, proponiendo, ahí lo decía, también nos daba algunos tips, reinventándonos en la forma de cómo compramos y cómo vendemos en lo que hagamos, desde su casino, desde su negocio, desde su tienda, hay que estar siempre presentes con esa reinvención. Germancho.
Pues estoy de acuerdo y quedé muy sorprendido y me encanta lo que hacemos. Yo siempre le digo, me encanta la empresa, me encanta Mundo Video, porque eso somos nosotros, innovación, desarrollo, tecnología, y siempre nos estamos reinventando, y por eso traemos este tipo de materiales, siempre estamos con ustedes, estamos siempre innovando, y no sé, Viviana, ¿qué nos cuenta?
Muy interesante todo lo que en estos 25 minutos nos enseñó Colin. Tenemos que ser flexibles, estar dispuestos a transformarnos en todo momento. Mundo Video nos ha enseñado eso. El cambio es permanente, es lo único que es permanente, la impermanencia de las cosas. Así que desde su lugar, desde donde usted esté, mire hacia adentro y pregúntese cómo está siendo como persona. ¿Es eso lo que está actuando, lo que está brindando? ¿Se acerca a lo que realmente quiere ser y brindarle al mundo? Hay que no solo reinventarnos con nuestros negocios, con nuestras carreras, sino desde nuestro interior para así mismo ver un cambio en la realidad. Así que, Colin, thank you so much to be with us. Thank you to accept our invitation.
Thank you very much for spending some time listening to some of my ideas and some of my thoughts. Rest assured, it's the culmination of a lot of thought that I've put together. Over the last 2 weeks, I've done hours and hours of chats through webinars, through articles I've written, done a lot of research, and this is the culmination of a lot of this, thinking through what's going to happen. I have my finger on the pulse in what's going on in China, and I know what's going on in the UK, and I know what's going on in the States. And that's why I've put together these kind of sort of 4 frameworks, ways of thinking, and then these actually 4 tactical things you can do straight away.
And if somebody wants to contact you, how they can find you?
If you want to get in touch with me, you can find me at my website, www.colinlewis, COLINLEWIS.me, yeah, not .com. You can find me on Twitter at Colin A, the initial A, Colin A. Lewis on Twitter, or just search for me on LinkedIn, Colin Lewis. I wish you well, stay safe, and thank you so much for this opportunity.
Bueno, perfecto. Me encantó todo esto. Espero que les haya encantado a ustedes, los que están viendo y las que están viendo, nos están siguiendo. De corazón, gracias a ustedes, gracias a Collins nuevamente. Y no sé qué tienen que decir ustedes.
Mancho, no, yo quiero también agradecerle a este experto que nos acompañó, este experto del marketing, porque de verdad nos da una luz que quizás podemos encontrar no mañana, ni pasado mañana, ni el mes siguiente, porque sabemos que la situación quizás no es muy favorable en ese momento, no solo en el país, en todo el mundo entero, ya lo sabemos, pero él nos da como esas tácticas, esa herramienta, esa varita mágica de cómo podemos nosotros de esta crisis sacar buen provecho, y creo que el mensaje es muy claro, Vivi.
Así es, la adversidad vista no como algo negativo, sino como una gran maestra para aprender y crecer. Estoy muy feliz de haber estado con ustedes, Germancho, Carlitos, a todos ustedes que siempre están pendientes del magazine de Mundo Video. Este año no pudimos compartir como solíamos hacerlo en Falla, eso tocó mi corazón, realmente extraño verlos en persona, abrazar, tocar, tener ese contacto físico que dábamos por sentado y que ahora el mundo se ha visto tan vulnerable por un simple abrazo o beso. Entonces espero que la próxima vez que nos podamos reunir realmente nos podamos abrazar y podamos dejar salir todo ese amor que hemos guardado durante este confinamiento. Los quiero muchísimo.
Por supuesto, en todas las ferias de Mundo Video queremos volver a las ciudades, compartir una buena comida, un buen cóctel con nosotros, con ustedes, todos de verdad de esta familia Mundo Video, a todos los que hacen parte de esta gran empresa, a los trabajadores, a cada quien que se levanta todos los días desde su casa a aportar un granito de arena para que sigamos construyendo país desde esta empresa que precisamente realiza eso, invierte en nuestra Colombia, da entretenimiento a las personas. Pues a todos ellos un abrazo grandísimo y gracias por habernos seguido en esta transmisión, Germán.
Gracias a ustedes. Beso y abrazo se los debo. Gracias.
Abrazo energético.
Listo, gracias y sigámonos reinventando. Somos muy buenos en eso. ¿Y listo? Gracias.
Listo, namaste.
Chao. Chao, Carlos. Chao.
Como el agua del río hacia el mar, y se va como todo se va. El tiempo que pasó y no supe ver, las horas que ya no quieren volver. ¿Dónde están? ¿Dónde están, corazón? Los días que sabíamos amar, la brisa que llegaba desde el mar. ¿Dónde están? ¿Dónde están, corazón?
Chao.